Hello. Today we're taking off the clamps and seeing how we did on the first compression and construction of the side decorative veneer. So it's looking pretty good. It's all glued up just right. A little bit of a bend in there, which I don't like, but that will come out later. So you check it, you look it over, make sure, see where it's at. It's rough, it needs a lot of finishing. So you do that by putting it into the clamps or the vices there, and go nip off that little extra piece of thin rip, and then we begin finishing it up. I take a kind of even it out as best you can, the higher ridges with that file, and the rest of it gets done with the belt sander, getting it all perfectly nice and smooth on the top where that second thin rip will be done. So I did that. There's the big belt sander, and then you smooth her right on out. Work it back and forth until she's smooth, and it's got to be perfectly smooth, so that you get a good connection there. So, and you check it by putting the thin rip on there and making sure there isn't any gaps between what you've done, the workpiece, and that second piece of thin rip. So walk her up and down and find out where the little gaps are at, and put her back on the sander and get it perfect. After you've gotten the top perfect, now you need to do the side. This is the side that will be the first cut when we thin cut the veneer on the bandsaw off of this workpiece. So you need to be absolutely careful that you pick the right side with the best face and begin smoothing that one off. And after you've done it, use the old check, the fingernail check, to make sure that there isn't any extra thin rip, and that's all flush. Then flip it over and do the other side, same thing. Put the belt sander on it and smooth her down. It's got to be nice and smooth. Again, run the fingernails along it to make sure that the rip and the workpiece are flush. Now we got to compress the workpiece on top of the second thin rip. So give it a check to make sure everything fits, and make sure you're using the right sides so that you get a good, not just a good fit, but there aren't any gaps. So after you've done that, we get out the wax paper again, very important, because you don't want to glue all this hard work in there and ruin it. So put in the wax paper, and then make sure everything's fit, glue it up. Smear on some, wood glue. Set it on in there to make sure it's all just dress right, dress perfect. And we use those little pieces of wood to protect it from the clamping up, the compression, to make sure it's all squeezed in there nice. After it's squeezed in there, there you go. That's looking good. We'll check it tomorrow.